What is your favorite plugin company? Now, it used to be UAD. I used to love UAD. I used to buy every single plugin UAD used to come out with. They did have the best emulations, and that was, that was relatively proven. And there are still lots and lots and lots of UAD plugins that I absolutely love, and I use them all the time. But the problem with UAD is there hasn't been anything kind of new and innovative and something that's really like, wow, I have to get that plugin, for probably about 5 years now. So, you end up kind of gravitating away from certain plugin companies, and you start to kind of just, I still look at the UAD plugins and I still look at them and go, yeah, all right, cool. And I still buy a lot of them. But they aren't no longer my favorite plugin company. You got lots and lots and lots of plugin companies out there. FabFilter are brilliant. Every plugin that they bring out is kind of, it's almost industry standard. The Pro Q3 is exceptional. L2, another one, it's brilliant. Now, I wouldn't class them as my favorite. They're very, very, very good, but their plugin list is minimal. But they cover every base kind of thing. My favorite plugin company would have to be Plugin Alliance. And that's because the thing with Plugin Alliance, and the thing I love about Plugin Alliance, is that their plugins that they bring out are very forward thinking. They're putting out emulations of hardware that I use and hardware that I own. Seeing the PQ as a hardware as a plugin is brilliant. I love that. I love the fact that I can now use that as a plugin in the box as well as out the box. The SPL Iron, they are doing plugins that are great emulations of my hardware. So I'm seeing lots and lots of good emulations of my hardware. Now, I was one of the early adopters of the, I think they call it the Mega subscription now. I was one of the early adopters of that. So I'm on a really, really incredible kind of rate. I think I pay something like £12 a month or something ridiculous per month. And I then get to pick at the end of the year 10 plugins. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, it's more than pretty good. It's like I would be mental not to do it. And for that reason alone, the Plugin Alliance just kind of cover everything. They cover all bases. The one thing they don't have a great range of is reverbs and kind of effects. They're great, they have an abundance of EQs, compressors, all that sort of stuff. I'm hoping some sort of, Atmos reverbs come out on it. I mean, that would be brilliant. The general, my thoughts about Plugin Alliance are that they're forward thinking. There's a lot of new great stuff coming out, and when these when they kind of reveal the betas coming out and what's coming for the year kind of thing, I look at it and go, wow, yeah, that is something to look forward to. Like the lull limiter, the look ahead analog limiter. I've got 2 of those, and they are unbelievable analog limiters. But it doesn't hurt to have that in the box as well. Having one that you can go in the box with is brilliant. I love the fact that my hardware is in the box and emulated very well. Obviously, I haven't heard the plugin of the lull limiter yet, but we'll see. Hopefully, it will be brilliant. But this is what I'm getting at, and the reason that they're so good, and the reason that I class them as my favourite plugin company, and I'm sure many other people will, is because it's affordable. It's very, very, very affordable. Like, for instance, I'm on that Mega subscription, and the Mega subscription is brilliant, and I have every single plugin. I've been mental to cancel my subscription because I get so many plugins for free, and I get the perpetual licenses at the end of the year. But even if you weren't on that, $29, I think it's like $29 the majority of plugins end up in a sale for. I mean, the good thing about Plugin Alliance is every engineer, every mixing engineer, every mastering engineer can afford to buy these plugins. They're not £300. Well, they are. You know, their RRP is £300 the day they come out, kind of thing. They'll do maybe a half price sale, but eventually they're $29. So you're talking like £25 for a plugin. That you know, maybe you got to wait 6 months to a year or whatever to get it for that sort of price. But every engineer can afford that. You know, everybody can have these really top quality plugins, whereas there's very few other plugin companies that support these sorts of people who don't want to spend massive amounts of money on plugins, and they just want to spend, you know, $30 isn't a lot of money really for a quality plugin. Like if you paid $30 for this SPL-PQ plugin, that is mental pricing, because the plugin is brilliant when compared to the hardware. The hardware's better. The hardware has this slightly more 3D image to it, and it does have more depth, but it is similar, and it's very, very, very similar, and it really is. And I've said before that I guarantee you, in a blind test between that and the plugin, it'd be hard to pick which one was the hardware. So yeah, I mean, that is why I love Plugin Alliance. And the other thing I will say about Plugin Alliance is, you know, Dirk owns Plugin Alliance. And one thing you'll find with him is, you know, you're talking about this geezer's, you know, got the world at his feet in terms of music industry. You know, he owns one of the best plugin companies in the world, and you know, everybody's buying from him. He has a lot of money, right? He doesn't have to be so invested in his company. He could pay someone else to do what he does, but he doesn't. He is so invested into his company in terms of, you go onto like the Plugin Alliance Facebook page, for instance, he is always commenting on there. You know, it's not like if someone directs a comment to him, he answers it. Like that sort of thing, when you get to that level, that sort of person, you know, they don't do that. That's a one-off, that you get someone that does stuff like that, because when you get to that sort of level, like your time to be sitting messaging on Facebook is much better spent, and you can make a lot more money spending that time developing your business than commenting on Facebook to customers. But that's not his thought process. Is that you know, he understands his customer base, and he actually, you know, really talks to people. Like, I've had multiple conversations with him, and that I like about him. And you don't get that with any other. I don't think there's any other plugin company. No, trying to think of it. There's not a single other plugin company where the owner of the business and the person that built that business from the ground up is that invested in their kind of customer base. If you've got a question, you fire it to Dirk, he'll answer it. You know what I mean? That sort of thing is hard work. You know, I have to do it with our business, and it does take a lot of time. And I can guarantee you, he gets about probably 100 times more messages than I get, and comments that I get. So yeah, I mean, for multiple reasons, that is why Plugin Alliance are my favourite plugin company.